All righty. Well, we are live for our, what is this, October? October CAD
Almost.
Chats. I know. I can't believe the year is almost gone.
I
Tomorrow
know.
is, okay, well, tomorrow's Halloween. Saturday is November 1st. But like, it's November, y'all. Can you believe it? Anyway, this is our monthly CAD Chats where we talk to designers and hear how they actually use computer-aided design, which also includes AI, which is today we're going to have our first AI fashion designer who's going to chat with us. Every last Thursday of the month, we do this. And so thank you all who are tuning in, and let's get right into it because we got lots to talk about and plenty of people who had questions. I got questions, so let's get in it. So before we do, before I let you introduce yourself, I want to give you a round of applause if I can find it. And I'm going to solo you. All right, here we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us how you got into fashion.
Oh God. Okay. So my name is Natalie de Groot, and I'm from Los Angeles, and I actually have been in fashion like 35 plus years, and a long time. So I got into fashion actually because, well, I've always loved fashion ever since I was a kid. It was like, you're going to be a designer. I was making my own clothes. So it's definitely something I knew that I wanted to do. I did go to school. I went to FIDM for like a couple years and didn't finish because I was in school and just my family was kind of in fashion. They were doing like licensing and stuff like that. So like for other brands, but they didn't have their own line, but I kind of knew the business a little bit. So I ended up getting like a kind of after school job with one of my aunts who was doing private label for somebody. And then I ended up, not finishing school because I was like, oh, there's just so much to know and to learn. So, I mean, I was almost done anyways, but I was like, I think I want to do this. So I ended up working with her and kind of learning the business that way. And then I just loved it so much. I was super young. I think I was like 18 and I was just downtown LA. It was new. You know, this was in the 90s. There wasn't a lot of people, just like entrepreneur types, just doing their own thing. And I started my own clothing line at like 19 years old. Yeah. And that's how I got into it. Like that.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so amazing. Okay, so let's get into it. So, and I said that kind of sinister. I didn't mean to. I have so many questions. So AI, digital tools, which one or ones do you primarily use?
So I started 2 years ago when there was like no tools. Like now it's incredible what we can do. Like just to do anything that we could do now, there was like, I don't even know if that's going to ever be possible. So I started out using Midjourney, which I love. And Midjourney is something, it's more artistic. It just depends. Like it depends on, everybody's like, oh, what's the tool? It's not about the tool per se today. It's really about, the person behind the tool. So it's like, you can have all the tools and now there's so many, of course, like I said, but a lot of tools do everything, like the same thing, I love Midjourney is my first. So it's like my first tool that like I found out how to use it through a guy at DHL. I was like shipping a package and he's like, oh, are you a fashion designer? I'd love for you to look at my designs. There's this kid behind the counter. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'd like to see what you're making. And then I was like, oh, how did you do that? Like, what is that? Like, how did you make that? And he's like, oh, I use Discord and Midjourney. And I'm like, what? Okay. I ran home and tried to like figure out, thinking, I'm just driving home going Midjourney, Discord. I'm not in NFTs. I'm not that type of person who's like, I love tech, of course, but so I just ran home and like tried to figure that out. So, and then it was really hard because it wasn't, I wanted to put clothing here. There's a lot of things I wanted to do, and I had to mix things to make that happen. So anyways, now there's so many tools. A lot of them do the same thing, but you just, it's the person behind the tool. Like you really have to like play with the tool, and you could use, I know Leonardo's one, image art is good. There's Rev. There's a lot of tools.
Wow. Is Midjourney still like your favorite one that you use?
It's still my favorite. Yeah, it's still my favorite. I use Midjourney for like more of the fantasy. There's nothing that gives you that kind of like art. There's not that, like, there's no program. I've tried them all, and every new program that comes out, there's not one that will ever, well, maybe they'll do it, but every program that's come out since then, it's not like that kind of like beautiful pictures and, like everything else. But you also need like your, you need to have your mood boards. There's ref codes. There's like codes. You can't just like put something in there. You're just going to get something, just it's like standard. So you have to like know how to work it, and you've got to like put yourself into, you got to really train it. You really got to be curious about these tools. You got to want to do it, like, because it takes time to like get your, to learn how to do everything.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I think, to your point, we were talking earlier, I think a lot of people feel like you can just press a button.
No.
And it's
no.
And it's even a newer language, because I have been very vocal about how much I cannot stand prompting. But it's really like a new way. It's something that you have to learn how to do well in order to really get what you want.
Yeah, it's like a recipe when you're making a soup, you a little salt, it's like you just can't like, you're putting ingredients in there, and then you make it over and over again until it becomes like that recipe, that everybody like, that you don't want to give out because everybody loves it so much. But it's like, it's kind of like that, where you just really have to play with it and like be curious about how it works for you. But like using AI, I mean, you're the best designer in the world. Like now I can do all these other categories that I didn't know I could do. Like, oh, you want shoes? Yeah, sure. Oh, you want jewelry? Oh, you want a belt to match that? Oh, no problem. Like, you want the whole outfit. Like, it just gives you ideas, like endless, limited amounts of ideas. Like we didn't, like I had to go through Pinterest or go, sample shopping and look at magazines. And I had to get my stuff from everywhere. But now I can create everything on my own. I don't even need like, to like look anywhere. I barely shop anymore. I barely look at magazines. Like I couldn't even leave a magazine the minute I got it. I was like, oh, I need to look at this so fast, like I have Vogue sitting there. I haven't even checked them out at all. Like I can make everything I'm looking for myself. It's crazy.
Now, do you still use any because I'm assuming that you were using like some Illustrator or some Photoshop or something else at one point. Are you using any of those tools still?
I mean, I'll always use Photoshop to fix the photos. I mean, that's something that, I mean, AI could do a lot. Like it can upscale now, it can do everything. It has the lighting, and Photoshop has AI in it anyways now. So, it just depends. But I don't use, Photoshop. I mean, it can't replace Illustrator. Like they have certain programs that I'm like, sketch this. And yes, it's good. It's good enough for me to give to my clients and be like, figure it out, but it's not like Illustrator style. So that's not, the Illustrator people, you won't be replaced yet. I don't think.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
I mean, I'm glad you said it too, because I have said the same thing. Like there have been people like, oh, can make an SVG file. I'm like,
no, not an Illustrator. Like not
like how we draw it.
No, I still need to I still need to put it. You can't, it's not going to make the tech pack for you. Like there's not, I can make the design. You still need to make the tech pack. You still need to make the Illustrator drawing. It can make it'll copy the sketch, but you still need that. Illustrator is definitely not.
They do have, there's some AI tech pack companies that are slowly emerging. But again, there still needs to be some kind of understanding of what you're looking at and how this is all supposed to go, because like, as great as AI can be, it's not perfect, so you still need to bring you still need to bring your taste level. If you're making this for physical products, you need to be able to say, nobody's gonna be able to get into that, so we gotta figure that out. You know what I mean? Like,
then that's what people are like, oh, AI, like you still need to be a designer and look at those designs. AI doesn't make you a fashion designer. AI doesn't make you that person. You are that person.
Okay, I need you to say that one more time.
AI will not make you a fashion designer. You still have to know how to construct a garment. You know what I mean? Like, that's really important. Like, I don't care if you know how to sketch. I mean, that's important. All these things are important, but you have to have the experience of constructing all kinds of garments with all different kinds of fabrics. You have to know how those fabrics are going to react. Just because you can make a picture of a style or you love clothes doesn't make you a designer.
Right.
Period. End of story. And that's the problem. Everybody's like, oh, I'm a designer. I'm like, no, you have to have had the experience, of making clothes. And working in companies. If you really want to be a seasoned designer, you have to work in company. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing to call yourself a designer. It's like,
exactly. That part. Now, my question is, have AI tools changed the way that you design, like your design process?
Yes. I do. It's just because, like, when I have like a mood board or I want to put together, like, I'm not like, oh, hi, Christopher. I love him. He's the best. So when I put together a mood board, it's like, I have to, gather all these images and like Pinterest and go here and like find things. So like, I can come up with my own mood, like anything I dream up, like I just want to do something about whatever. It's like, sky's the limit. Whatever I feel like that's my mood or that what I want to do or the trend, I can put that together myself without like an assistant designer who has to gather all the inspiration. Like, I can actually be a full like A to Z designer from concepting to making the stuff. Like, it's incredible, like how much control you can have over the design. Like, why wouldn't everyone want to use AI just because of just having that control from just the concept to the finished product? And not to mention, I am doing now, there's so much like it's like so much better now, the way you can like now do the photo shoot. So the clothing, because everybody was asking me for that. They're like, we don't want you to design, because everybody wants to be their own designer. It's like, no, I'm the designer. But can you take my clothes and put them on, the models or do photo shoots and stuff like that? I was like, no, that's not possible. And it hasn't been possible until literally, a few months ago, where now everybody's asking me for that. And I'm getting a lot of that kind of stuff, because nobody, it's like, I'm doing shoots in Capri and on boats and everything. And like, that would cost like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it looks real, like, so that part, they don't mind having me do that for them.
Gotcha. So you've kind of answered my question, but so when you do design, are you prompting for the design, or are you still starting like with your own sketches first?
I do everything prompt. I don't even sketch anymore. Like, it's not, I don't need to sketch. No, I just, like, if they're looking for a sweater, like I'm working with a sweater brand, and she's kind of showed me certain trends that she does well with, or a bestseller, that she's using. I'll take that bestseller and I'll just keep prompting it. And instead of getting a sketch, no one can read a sketch. Like, we can all sketch, but a lot of people don't read sketches. And that's always been a problem for me in the industry, because I didn't do all those croquis. Like, I couldn't really tell you what was happening in my head. I'm not, everybody knows how to make those, beautiful croquis, and like can actually, you still need Illustrator, which is really hard. Before you get a sketch, it's like a fucking hour and a half. It's
Yeah.
like so long to just put that together. So that, so now I can just boom, boom, boom. I mean, it's not boom, boom. You have to like, figure it out. But for me, it's pretty fast to like give them a whole series of like, okay, here's the fabric you want to do, a striped fabric, you want to mix it with denim. Well, here's a bunch of options and then they can pick it. Like if I had to sketch all that or wait for my assistant designer who is doing Illustrator, sketch me this, it's just the time that it saves to get your point across is so valuable.
Yeah. And December, Natalie was talking about this earlier. But I think correct me if I'm wrong, but your favorite AI tool is Midjourney.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. And I am used to doing a flat sketch, but to your point, a lot of people don't understand that. And particularly when you're working with people who are not in the industry, like if you're just working one-on-one with just, regular clients, maybe you're doing custom things. Sometimes it's really hard for them to understand the flat sketch. So I actually like the sketch to render function in some of the AI tools, because I'm like, all right, I already have a sketch. I already know what it's supposed to look like. I just needed to look a little more photoreal. And yes, I can use 3D, which I will eventually, when I'm ready to make the pattern and fit it and do all that. But I just need to know if you even like it, because 3D is going to take me X amount of hours, depending on how complex it is. Yes. Whereas, with that AI tool, I can put it into the program and, 30 seconds to a minute later, I have something that looks like a photorealistic rendering of my idea that I can now show to the client and they can say yay or nay, and then we can move to the next step.
Yeah, because we're in a visual business. Yeah. So it's really, really hard.
Yes, Christopher, that is true. So what has been the most challenging thing you've created in AI, using AI, and what has been the most fun?
Well, everything's the most fun. I have the most fun using AI. So anything I work on, it's like if I had to do it traditionally, I wouldn't even be doing this. Honestly, if I didn't find AI, I would be like, I'm over, you designed the same way for so long. Like this has given me like a rebirth. Like I wish I was like 100 years younger, like 20 years younger. And like, and they all these resistance, these, young people are just like, no, AI is a bad word, you're stealing and all that. But I'm like, wow, like if I had this at their age, I would be on fire. Like, I have my own I'm not working for, I have clients, but when I was in the industry, I would, oh my God, it's so powerful. I can change your, like, just the guesswork alone, like all the meetings, about the design,
yes,
all that stuff. It would be like here, and another thing is you don't have to make all the samples, like those Ross meetings we used to have, and they made like all these samples, and I'm like, I don't know if I like, can you redo everything, and we'll see you next week, and like another round of 150 samples. So it's like you can put everything in a book and really see what they're getting. It's very, it's very real. I forgot the question. What was the worst?
What's the most fun?
That's the most fun.
What's been the most challenging that you've done so far?
I mean, the most challenging is getting the photo shoots, doing the photo shoots and putting the clothes on. That's the most challenging because people think AI is magic, which it's not. It's not, I'm like, I'm not David Copperfield. I can't do that. So that's like the most challenging. They'll like, give me a sketch, or they'll like, put something in there. And I'm just like, and they get all disappointed. I'm like, but look at all the stuff I'm doing. And then like, you can't, but it's not, so they don't really understand. They just think it, could just build you a house in a day or something. I don't know.
I always tell people
that's the most challenge.
Yeah. I always tell people think that, most digital tools, anytime you get in front of the computer, it's like all of a sudden people feel like there's no work involved.
Yeah.
It's like you do one of these.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the
And I'm like,
genie.
okay,
No,
we're not genie.
yeah, no, say, I always have to say, like, this is not the David Copperfield here. Like, I
Yeah,
can't, you
I
know.
literally had someone say to me one time, "Get out your magic wand," and I was like, "It's in the shop, and I don't know
Yeah.
when it's coming out."
Yeah, getting repaired. No, they think it's
Yeah,
really fast. They're like, okay, so you'll have it tomorrow. I'm like, no, it's not, not to mention I have other projects. Like, what do you think? Like, I'm just working for you. It's terrible.
right.
Like that too. It's like, but like they think it's AI is easy. And it's not easy. Like it took me a long time to learn and get it, like what I like and my point of view on it,
Mm-hmm.
and like my style and like all that stuff. So, and now it's like there's so many programs out there. You almost have to have had like a little bit, like learn a little bit earlier, because now you could tell like someone will just make something and it's just like it just looks
Yeah,
like AI. It looks like everything else. So you really
yeah,
have to like now
yeah.
it's even more important that you really hone in on it and just throw it out there, because anybody
Mm-hmm.
can be a designer. It does make things, visually you can make some pretty cool stuff.
You can, but I think that your advantage and all of those who are designers and were designers first and then added in AI
Yeah.
is that you do have the background, you do have the training, you do understand design, you have a taste level, you know how to construct garments, you know that when it spits out something that doesn't have an opening, but it's sealed, you're sealed up to here, that's not really going to work, if you're going to try to put a
No.
real person in this,
Yeah.
So I think that, I personally think that designers have an advantage, and this is really going to help boost what they already have and enhance that. And to not be afraid of all these, like, I was about to say sucker MCs, John. Like people who are just, fronting like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're out here loud and proud, like I can do this, I can do this. And I just encourage people like yourself and those who have a background in design to don't be afraid of the tool and get out here and, say this is part of what I do now. This is part of my skill set so that they can reap the advantages of it and they can be at the forefront of this and saying, yes, this is a legitimate tool that is part of the rest of the arsenal of all the things that I can do, and not have people who, I think one of the things that is happening is part of the reason why you're getting some of the AI pushback is people who have bad experiences with designers who are getting on these tools and pushing a bunch of buttons and giving them something that's crazy.
Yeah, I had a client that I said, because, and I said, oh, I'm doing AI. Everyone's doing AI. I'm like, yeah, but are they doing this? Like this?
Right.
He's like, what? What's that? I was like, that's AI.
Yeah.
Whatever you saw before, that's not AI. Like, so he was like
Yeah. That was a hot
dismissing me, like,
mess.
yeah. I was like, are you kidding? Like, I didn't know. He was just like, oh, everybody's using AI. I'm like, oh shit, it's over. I was having so much fun. We're all done here? What? And I was like, but are they doing stuff like this? And he's like, oh no, that so I think, yeah, you're right. They have a bad experience with it,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't help that Guess did that ad with the girl that looks like so AI. I was like, oh my God, now you just like took us back, like now,
Yeah.
I don't know. They could have done a better job there to use AI. So that set us back a little bit, but.
Yeah. Now here's a question. This is off script. But how do you feel about being transparent and like in your campaigns or whatever, like saying to people, by the way, like putting a little disclaimer on the bottom and saying, oh, this was AI generated? Or does it matter?
I mean, for me, it matters when someone's making like a video of, taking, like certain things, like I think it should have maybe a disclaimer that's not real when it's like serious, like, but I don't think it matters. It just depends, like I mean, it's really hard to control. Like, it's already out there. Like, everybody's like, oh, yeah, it's coming. It's already here. All the tools are here. Everything's here. It's just the people that are not ready for it. That's the point, you know? So it's like, I know a lot of people I talk to, I'm like, the first thing I ask, do you use ChatGPT? No, what's that? So like, so many people I run, and that's like AI, like first level. If you're not even using ChatGPT, like, who are you first? Like, why wouldn't you want to be the smartest person in the world? Like, I don't get it. So there's that. So then, you know, then they have to do ChatGPT first, and, you know, and then there's different, you know, I'm an AI artist, so I don't do all the analytics and stuff, but there's all, you know, there's just so much that you can learn and do. You know, so, and I tell people, and they're happy the next day. They're like, oh my God, I downloaded chat, and like I did, and they're like so excited to have done that.
So what are you currently working on, if you can share? Anything
right now
fun?
I'm doing, well, it's fun. Sometimes it's fun, but I'm doing a whole lookbook that's in Saint-Tropez and all these places in Italy and Positano. So like every time I work on it, I'm like, I wish I was there. But she's like, can you so she just did like a regular photo shoot against the backdrop, and, you know, just a regular backdrop. And she just said, can you, you know, put these photos? We don't have time to go on a location. I'm like, no problem. Just tell me where you want to go. And so she's like, well, you know, it's a summer shoot. We'd like to try something, you know, in Italy or like Capri, all that. So I'm working on putting all those models into different like locations, which is great. I just showed her today, and they were like, you know, because it's a fine line. You still have to like look at something and know if it looks like AI. Like I can look at something and like I have to redo it, you know, refine it, because I'm like, oh yeah, she looks AI. So people who don't have that eye, you know, that's why I said there's no I in AI. You're the I in AI, you know. It's like you could see, you have to train your eye to be able to look at what's, you know, what's like real or not. And a lot of people, you know, I could see, you know, because I've been looking at so much AI stuff that I could tell if it's AI or not. And then, but sometimes I look at stuff and I even say, oh, wow, that looks really real, you know?
Yeah. And John says the artwork behind you looks very cool.
Oh, thank you. I didn't do that. I was given to
but
me.
You chose that.
Yeah, I've had it for years.
So what advice would you give to someone just starting to use AI, but maybe a bit intimidated and have concerns about creative authenticity?
Get over yourself. I'm kidding. No, I would say, well, I mean, I would, I don't know. We're inspired by like so many things, you know, like, I don't know, like everyone's it's stealing or it's this. I mean, we're designers. We steal everything. We look at everything and we knock off everything. Like, no, we have no shame. In certain companies, I'm like, do you want to change it a little bit? Nope. You know, okay. So, you know, we're style shopping. I mean, that's the thing I love about AI is that we can have now originality. Like, we don't have to like, you know, knock off people's stuff anymore. Like we can make our own, you know, if there's something that's selling, I can make like 1 million iterations of that one top. I don't have to take that, you know, we can change it up a little bit. So I think this is like the first time that we're going to have, once everybody gets on board and it's like over the AI thing of not, you know, wanting to use it, we're going to have so much like originality now, you know, we don't have to copy, and we can be faster, you know, we don't have to like to wait, you know, it takes the guesswork out of everything. And the sustainability factor is amazing because of all the samples you don't have to make. That part was like, that's kind of the reason I got into it. I was like, the sample rack. Like, oh my God, filling up the sample racks, you know, and even production. It's like, you can show people what you want to make, you know, first, you know, in your meetings and stuff like that, instead of like, well, make me a sample. Well, look at what goes into making a sample.
Yeah. True. Very true.
Or the production.
So we are at time. Can you believe it? I can't believe it.
Oh,
that went really fast. It always does. So how can people find you on social media, and how can people work with you or support your work?
Well, I do mostly on LinkedIn, and I started my own company called the Fashion Agency. So it's called the Fashion Agency, but agency spelled with AI. So .com. So you can find me there if anybody wants to see my work. There's more work on there.
And are you under on LinkedIn? Are you the Fashion Agency or Natalie de Groot?
I'm both, but Natalie de Groot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Natalie
Awesome. Well, this has been really fun. It's been educational for me. I always feel like I learned something. I'm like, every day I feel like I learned something new about AI.
Yeah, no, there's so much to learn. So
I know. And it just keeps coming every day.
It's here. It's here.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you again for being a guest, for being our first AI fashion designer at CAD Chats. And thank you everyone for tuning in. And we do this every month, last Thursday of the month. So make sure you come back. I'm not sure who we're going to have back on November. I don't know why I can't remember what month it is, but I'm not sure who we're going to have in November, but we're going to have someone, and it's going to be a great chat, just as great as today's. So everyone have a great night. We'll see you then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.